He played cornerback here.
Right.
Like 40 years ago?
How long? I'm not that old, Jeremy.
Y'all go ahead.
Trey C.L. Brown with the Raleigh News and Observer. A lot of times when players such as yourself had so much success in your playing days, the transition to actually coaching is a lot tougher, maybe because things came naturally to you or just people don't pick up stuff as quickly as you did as a player. What has been the challenge for you in terms of learning how to coach and bring guys along? Not necessarily how you did, but just bring them along their own way.
I don't think it's coaching has been a challenge to me. Again, my mother and father taught school for over 30 years. I got 5 kids. I've been coaching. My personality has been pretty much suited for being very relational and teaching and giving back. It hasn't been a challenge. The stereotype of former players, struggling transitioning to coaching. I mean, it varies. Everybody is different, but it's based on your relational skills, right? Everybody can get up here and, I think some guys can get up and get in front of a board and draw this stuff on the board, right? And flow and look like, they better suited in coaches than somebody that's very, very relational. And to me, it's what you can teach a player. How he responds to you is what matters. And I think that's the skill set that I bring to coaching. And so it hasn't been a challenge for me. The biggest thing with me is, I've been determined, throughout my life to be successful in whatever I touch, right? Whatever I decide to do. And I'm determined to continue to grow, to get better. I've been blessed to be around some great men, with Mac Brown and Chiswick coming in and Charlton coming in and Big and the guys with Big Cross. So just continue to learn every year, right? When I took this job on 4 years ago, I didn't come in saying I was going to try to outperform every man that was here. The one thing I wanted to flourish in was being very relational with the guys, making sure that my guys understood technique. They was going to embrace the brotherhood of what it means to be a target. And then every year I want to get better in another area. I think what happens in this profession sometimes with guys, they try to take on so much and not rely on different people for different roles. And so I've embraced my role. I think Coach Brown has done a tremendous job in allowing his coaches to be who they are. And that's my approach. I'm loving doing what I do. I'm going to continue to get better. My guys, I continue to walk the way I walk, right? They're going to be aggressive, they're going to play, they're going to be nasty. That's going to be that mentality, right? We're going to get beat, things going to happen, but it's a short-term memory. How you bounce back is what matters. And so that's the way I was wired, that's the way we should be wired, and that's the focus.
Just one follow-up on that. Gene talked about you coming to shadow coaches back when he was here in the 2015, 2016.
Right.
How did you kind of prepare to make the transition into coaching? Did you do that a lot?
Yeah, I did. So I reached out to Coach Brown, and obviously he has a lot of relationships, and had a chance to come here. When I was contemplating if this was the path I wanted to take. I came in and had a chance to meet with Chiz, and he allowed me the opportunity to shadow Charlton for a whole spring, and had a chance to see the ins and out of coaching. Because I understand game, I understand technique. Me playing as long as I played, people say, well, Dre, you only been coaching. Shoot, I played 15 years. So I don't need that resume that everybody else needs. I played a long time. I've been with a lot of great coaches. And so it's just a matter of me seeing if I can put in the time and the hours. And just understanding some of the little things that come with coaching that I was able to pick up with some of the guys I've been able to learn from. But Charlton was a guy, he's very detailed, he's smart, very intelligent. He's been with a lot of great coaches, and so starting off with him and then going from there and having chances to be with the guys like Aaron Glenn, and I interned with those guys for a whole preseason, and then doing the Miami Dolphins. I've been able to take different stuff from different guys. Steve Wilkes was a guy that I met with as well, taking different parts from different guys and forming who you are. And that's what I've been able to do, since I started this coaching journey, and it's been pretty cool. right? I think that's the thing. I'm not a guy that feel like I know it all. I'm willing to learn from different people, and I'm always trying to get better.
Coach Bly, how has recruiting changed for you from 2019 when you got here to now? What have you learned? How have you gotten as a better recruiter?
Well, like I said before, and I tell the guys this, even my nephew, and these jokers. I don't know if I was as high maintenance as these guys are today. You were. But it's pretty cool. I think the biggest part with me, what separate me from these other guys are, I'm very relational. I really care less if a kid come to Carolina. I just want the kid to make it out of the neighborhood. That's the most important thing for me, is these kids having a chance to live the dream, to, fulfill their childhood dream. And so at the end of the day, if I can get a kid off the street into a school, I done done better, right? And he's gonna be part of my brotherhood, whether it's a Tar Heel or not, right? That's the way I look at it, right? And so I think when people see that and see my dilemma or see my approach, they vibe with me. And it's like we one of the boys, and so that's pretty much how it is with me. And so I think that's the difference now from when it was before. We got to be a little bit more relational, and I think Coach Brown and the staff that we have, we're very relational. We've done a good job establishing good relationships with the kids and the parents, and that's why we've been doing a very good job in recruiting and been able to land some of the guys that we've been able to land.
Are there any nuances to recruiting that you didn't really know about that you've had to learn, kind of inside baseball nuances to recruiting that kind of weird that you had to learn?
Well, it's always things you can learn. Like I said, just there's a lot of guys, trainers, and just knowing how these coaches, other coaches, college coaches, they know one another, right? They help one another. I don't know anybody, so I don't have people to piggyback off of sometimes. But it's just, I do what I do well, and that's be very relational. I can get 2 steps closer because of my resume. Most of the kids that I'm recruiting, their parents, we're the same ages, right? I played against them. If they follow football, they're able to relate with my name. So that's I'm able to get a conversation because of that, right? I played in Detroit for 5 years, lived in Detroit for 6 years, played with the Rams, lived in St. Louis. I lived all over this country. So I think that's been able to help me with recruiting and to form relationships with some of the families that I've been able to form relationships with.
Where is Tony Grimes in the process of becoming?
Say it again?
Where is Tony Grimes right now in the process of becoming the player he's eventually going to become? And is there one or 2 things must he do here in the next few months to achieve his goals of going to the next level?
Just to continue to get better. People put too much. I try to tell them, I redshirted, right? And then I really didn't feel really comfortable playing until my 3rd year in college. My first year I had all those interceptions. That was my 2nd year. And still I wasn't as strong as I needed to be. It was hard for me to get one off of blocks because those jokers were stronger than me. The athletic part of the game, I did really well because I could catch the ball and I was fast. But I didn't really come into my own until the 3rd year. My 3rd year, which was 1997, when we won 11 games. The year I had 13 picks. I just had great guys around me, right? That covered up some of my in-hat, some of my inabilities, right? But I told Tony, just like when he got here, it's a process, bro. With him being a 5-star, it was so many expectations, right? And all the great players, it's just hard to step right in and play. Brian Simmons and Greg Ellis, they didn't really step out until their 3rd year in college. Their redshirt freshman year, they didn't play much, right? It was their 3rd year when they were able to step out. And so I just think because of all of the recruitment and all the hype that comes with young high school athletes coming out of high school, we expect so much out of those guys, right? But these jokers are 18, 19 years old, learning how to play. And so just telling Tony, right, what we were asked to do last year, I feel like it's the hardest position to play in football, right? And those guys are going to make plays. And just a matter of just forgetting about it and keeping it moving. And just make sure you're getting better every year, right? Try to minimize explosive plays. Try to make sure you compete. Try to make sure your mind is right. And I think right now, he's trending in the right direction. Him and Storm being there together, I think they make each other better. I think the guys that we have in Dante Balford and Dede Hollis being healthy and bringing on Legend, it makes the room better. So I think he's trending in the right direction. I'm excited about what this fall is going to show us this year about our back end. I do think Chisholm coming in and Charlton coming in makes us better, just as a complete, because I think we all vibe together, right? We know one another, and they've been here before. So I'm excited about this fall.
Dre, how did you evaluate the corners last season to then get better this upcoming season?
Well, just looking at the whole complete picture, you know, we had too many explosive plays, you know, and for whatever reason, the explosive plays happen. And at the end of the day, you know, that's the one thing that bothers me, because that's what everybody sees. When you make a mistake on the back end, the whole world sees it. If a D-line or a linebacker make a mistake, nobody really sees it. So just trying to cut down those explosive plays. That was the one thing that we did worse than anything, right? And so that's the focus this year, is just trying to minimize explosive plays. Try to, I think the scheme will be similar. Less is more. That's one of the things Chiz has been saying, he's been preaching. I think he thinks the way we think as players. But just trying to minimize explosive plays. You know, have less than what we did last year, and I think we'll be successful. Continue to compete, because we're going to compete. We're going to do it. You know, Tony's been very consistent as far as being on the field. You know, he's been very reliable. And so just continue to get better. I really expect, I really look forward to him and the rest of the guys really performing well this year.
Dre, what's it like watching Josh Downs, both from a coaching perspective and from an uncle perspective, seeing how far he's come?
It's pretty cool, you know, because just the thing, you know, we're dealing with this whole recruitment deal, you know, everybody's going, and this is what I tell them, you know, like even my Caleb, and I don't know if I'm able to say that, but that is my nephew, but this whole recruitment process, you know, people gonna give you candy and tell you lies, right? If you go visit a place one weekend, if you're not smiling when you leave, then the recruitment department have done a bad job. So they gonna know your weakness, your strength every time you go visit. And whatever your strengths are, they gonna hammer in that area. And so just to see the whole deal with Josh, to see where he's gotten to and how happy he is, everything that I told him that would happen here is happening. And he's doing really well. He's working really hard. He's doing well academically, which is important for our family. And we're excited about this fall, man. Like everything that Coach Brown visioned, you know, when he took this job, is happening right now. And I think we're set up to do great things. And I'm excited about this fall.
Dre, you mentioned the importance of relationship building and how important that is for you as a coach and your style. How has that process changed or maybe become more difficult with some of the way that college athletics is changing more broadly? Like the fact that there is a transfer portal there, the fact that
NIL, yeah, so it makes it it's tough. The NIL, you know, I just imagine if I had NIL, I'm like, wow, you know. And I was talking about that with Brian Simmons and Greg, you know, like, damn, we're too old, man. Like, it came too late, but it makes it tough. It makes, I think, relationships become more important, right? Especially, you know, all that we represent here at the University of North Carolina. I think that's why we've been able to land some of the guys that we have been able to land, because the relationships are so strong. We have a very relational staff. You know, Coach Cross does a really good job. You know, Digpen, you know, and the whole staff, Lonnie, they built strong relationships with families and kids to the point where, you know, we've been able to land kids because of that. And so we're going to continue to do what we do. And I think that gives us the edge, in a sense, to the way that we're going to always be pretty good when it comes to recruiting.
All right, gang. Time to move on for Griff.